Hello, my absolutely beautiful astrology soulmates. It's me, Stormie Grace, and welcome to your horoscope for July of 2021. Now, this month you will see we are trying something a little bit different over here, and I want to make sure that I'm able to extend this channel and extend the information to as many of our astrology soulmate friends around the globe as we can. So you can still click on this video and click the little emblem that says CC and see the subtitles in different languages, but you'll also see that below this particular video, the subtitles this month are in Korean. We are trying out something new around here. Give me some feedback. How does it work for you? What do you like about it? What don't you like? Just let me know, okay? I look forward to bringing you all of the rest of your horoscopes for all 12 signs, so just stay tuned with me. Hello, my beautiful Aries friends, and welcome to your horoscope for July of 2021, where this month, Aries, we are kicking off the month with a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous set of energy that kicks off the domestic sector for you. Not to mention, we have still got Venus in the energy of Leo. We'll have the sun coming into Leo. So it is a wonderfully creative, playful, pleasureful month that is available to you. And then we're going to have Mercury also jump into the energy of Leo, and he is out of retrograde at that particular time. So there is a lot of creative, fun, loving energy that's available to you. But I will tell you, we are still contending with the Saturn-Uranus square in the sky, not to mention Venus is going to sit in opposition to Saturn. So it may feel like if you're trying to do something pleasurable or you're trying to just really sit back and enjoy yourself, you're having to make a lot of adjustments to be able to do that, but just adjust. Be flexible, Aries, go with the flow, don't fight it, and then I think you'll be able to really enjoy this month, okay? All right, Aries, let's get in here and take a look at what's going on this month. So we begin this month with that gorgeous new moon that's happening in the energy of Cancer, lighting up your fourth house space. Now, this brings our attention to the domestic space, home, family, real estate, property, your internal foundations, your roots, your lineage, connections with women, or your mothering energies in your chart. May also be things that become informative for you at this time. Now, the sun and the moon are together in the sky, which means that anything is possible. A new moon is when we're planting our seeds of intention to allow new things to come to life. They're put in the soil of magic, and we're willing and able to let them grow at this point, but we're planting in the dark. We don't actually know. We just have an urge, and we have this idea that we want to project out into the world. Newness comes with this particular moon. Now, for some people, you may find that maybe you're doing a lot of home renovation, or you're making repairs, you're doing things like that, that could bring that information or that could bring that energy to your table. For some of you, maybe you're actually with some changes with what's been going on with the pandemic. Maybe you're actually able to go back home, adjust your home, do something in your home. My goodness, we were shut down in a pandemic. Are some of you bringing babies home? Any of those things could definitely be a piece of the foundation that this new moon is calling in beautifully to your home sector. Now, this new moon is going to be happening at 8 degrees of Cancer. So you want to look at your chart and see where you have 18 degrees of Cancer at. You know, do you have an angle? Do you have a planet? Do you have an asteroid even that is sitting at 18 degrees of Cancer, or within about 5 degrees on either side of that? That's something you definitely want to take note of at this particular new moon. We will feel the energy of the new moon playing out for about 4 weeks. So whatever you plant it, your seeds of intention at the new moon, and then get out of the way and let them blossom, okay? Now, on the 11th, we're going to see Mercury moving over as well into the energy of Cancer, and Mercury is going to stay in place here until July 27th. So we've got a good amount of time where we just had this new moon energy happening here, and now Mercury's coming in out of retrograde, so fully moving forward, fully in his orbit, in his speed, and giving us all of his blessings. Meeting up here in this fourth house space, it's like the ideas, communications can be coming your way. If you had things that were delayed during the Mercury retrograde, you could definitely see Mercury bringing the conversation forward at this particular time. The other thing I think a lot about when Mercury enters into the energy of Cancer, because it's always putting an emphasis for you here in this fourth house energy as well, we become very emotionally intelligent, or we are offered the opportunity to tap into that emotional intelligence. So I would tell you at this time, Aries, if you need to have conversations about home, if you need to make decisions about home, and you need to go to maybe an emotion that's been presenting itself, and you want to have the conversation from that space, you can kind of trust that your emotions and your intellect get on the same page. And it's really exciting. Now, for some of you, I can't help but get away from the idea that this is an exciting piece of information. This is an exciting piece of news that's maybe coming to you around something in your home. Are you relocating? Is someone having a baby? Did you get approved for that loan so you can buy that house that you maybe wanted to sell? You know, some piece of good information could be very much so coming in at the time that Mercury moves into that Cancerian energy, okay? On the 21st, we're going to see Venus move into the energy of Virgo. Now, as Venus moves into the energy of Virgo, and then at the end of the month, we're going to also see Mars moving into the energy of Virgo. This will both light up your sixth house space. So the sixth house is about daily routines. It's about the mundane things, right? We saw that Venus and Mars were together previously and had a really nice connection with each other July 13th in the fifth house, which is pleasureful and creative. And it's just this, oh, it's a really delicious kind of energy. And it's playful, right? But as we move into the sixth house, it's not that we lose playfulness, but things become a little bit more serious. We become a bit more grounded and practical in what we're doing. But with Venus here, it's like celebrating the beauty of the sacred everyday things, celebrating the value in the day to day. Now, I do think in the energy of Virgo, one of the things that you can plan for with Venus here is taking an opportunity to really value your health. Are you valuing your health? Are you taking care of your body? Venus is an energy of pleasure. In your day-to-day life, Aries, are you remembering to step up and not just work your body out, do things, but are you remembering to actually care for it? Are you taking care of your gut health? Are you taking care of your nervous system health? The things slow down and become a bit more practical when Venus moves into Virgo. Now, in terms of romance, you could see that happening as well with Venus in Virgo, is it's very practical. Maybe you want to be of service to other people, or you're actually helping take care of other people. But in terms of how you express your romance, this could be a time that you just feel like your romance is really quite practical. Now, what we do have to be mindful of when Venus moves into Virgo, because it's not an entirely comfortable placement for her, is that we don't allow that energy to get nitpicky and critical and cynical around the people and the things in our lives, because then we'll miss out the value and the beauty of what's sacred in every day, okay? Now, as we get to the 22nd, we're going to say happy birthday to Leos, because the sun is going to move into the energy of Leo, lighting up that fifth house space. And you'll have this energy of this Leo, this creativity, this light, heat, life, and vitality in your fifth house space all the way until August 22nd. So you've got 4 weeks to really Leo out. It's a fellow fire sign. So this is a little bit of go in your tank. This energy feels good. You feel motivated to love big, share big, be big, go out and express yourself in certain ways. This could also be a phenomenal energy with the sun here, where maybe you're doing something that children are involved. For a lot of you Aries, actually, I continue to get this sense that maybe sometime in July, if you can, or if you're already planning it, like take a vacation. And even if it's a staycation, pleasure yourself, enjoy pleasure, take care of your body, allow yourself a little bit of a come down over this last year. You know, it's a very pleasureful kind of energy. Now, I do think as well, if you happen to be single, as the sun moves itself into the energy of this fifth house space, you could see romance coming along. Absolutely, I think that this is a possibility. I think it is a possibility when Venus and Mars are together in that fifth house at the beginning of the month, around about the 13th as well. But that to me doesn't seem like steady energy to super engage at that time. But as the sun gets in here, that's a little bit more solid. So if you want to put yourself out there, you want to go to an art museum, the theater, something that brings you pleasure, and maybe you meet someone, enjoy that, okay? As we get to the 23rd, we're going to see a full moon happening in the energy of Aquarius. Now, this is going to happen at 1 degree of Aquarius, so it's just come into that space. So if you are born or you have your personal planets, your points, your angles at 1 degree, or anywhere, I would say from 1 degree to about 27 degrees. If you're going backwards just a little bit, or 1 degree moving to about 5 degrees of Aquarius. Okay. So you want to look around about those places so you can see if you're going to be impacted. Now, also, if you are an energy that is a fixed sign, you're going to want to pay attention to this. If you are a Taurus, if you are a Leo, if you are a Scorpio, if you are an Aquarius, this is a fixed sign full moon that is happening. So you will feel the impact of this a little bit more than some of the other energies. Now, I do also think, because this is an air energy, if you happen to be a cardinal energy, if you happen to be an Aries, a Cancer, a Libra, a Capricorn, you may feel this as well. You may feel a little bit of that movement. But either way, we've got this full moon happening at 1 degrees, and this is going to light up your 11th house space. You obviously, at this point in the month, also have Saturn, who is still retrograde up here. Now, the full moon says that we need to end something, acknowledge something, or make an adjustment. We need a course correction to what's been going on in this particular area. So we also have a lot of light. All of the light in the sky is on. We have it. It's in our favor. What we're looking at, we can trust intuitively and internally that what we're seeing is really very true. And at the full moon, if something has had cracks or has been looking or needing to break down or adjust, I think that we see that happening here. Now, for you, Aries, in this 11th house space, I do think that this particular energy is calling into your attention your friends, your friendship groups, who you are aligned with. Do they support you? Do they raise you up? And maybe you've had the same friends for a very long time, but as Saturn is also working this particular area, I think that Saturn has called you to a leadership position or a step up position, Aries. I think it's like, hey, we need Aries to lead the charge, lead the way, lead from the front, come on up here. And Saturn, I think, left you that gift back in March as it came initially into the energy of Aquarius, gave you full permission to take that on as it really hit in there in December of 2020. And now, as Saturn has passed this moon at that 1 degree, but is also in retrograde, I do think that it speaks very much so to this moon by telling you inside out, align yourself with the people who are going to help you rise. But the thing about it is I feel like this is a 2-part situation, Aries. I think you are leading to help people, organizations, causes rise, but you've also got to have people behind you as well. So it's really very much so a full people kind of effect. Now, the other thing I just think of in the 11th house space for you is that this is the space of advancement. You do want to advance in some way. So maybe at this full moon, this is it. You're hearing about that promotion. You become aware that maybe you applied for a promotion or applied for a job, and you realize from the inside out that you don't want it. But it'll definitely create a change in whichever direction you're advancing or expanding out, especially in a social way. I think that this is really an important moon for you to pay attention to, okay? Now, as we get to the 27th, we're going to see Mercury on the road out of retrograde, moving into the energy of Leo. So the 5th house is very busy. Again, we're having conversations. Maybe even it's a little flirty. It's a little fun. It's busy. Goodness knows if you have children, by the time we are at this point in July, you are probably hearing from the school. You are getting information. If you do jobs that are a little bit more seasonal like that, maybe there's more communication going on. Your college students are making their travels and their transitions and all of these kinds of things that have to do with that very childlike energy. But also for you, Aries, if you don't have children, you're retired, you don't have any of those things going on, this could be a time for you, Aries, at the end of the month where you decide, I'm worth it. passion is important, and me living and being and moving passionately and having my being is important to me, and I'm going to do that. This is a lovely movement that we have this energy here all the way until August 11th for you to really own you, own your voice, own your emotions, own your expressions of what you're doing, and to take a little bit of a risk, because it is a little bit of a risk when we put ourselves out there, when we fall in love, when we take an advancement, when we travel, when we do any of these things, there's a little bit of a risk. Oh, okay. And for some of you, yeah, for some of you, it could actually be like it's competition. Maybe you're doing something where there's high amount of competition. I know here in the summer in Colorado, we do a lot of runs and obstacle courses and things like that. So maybe that's something you're also getting involved in doing as well, okay? All right, on the 28th, we're going to see Jupiter moving in his retrograde path back into that energy of Aquarius. So he stepped forward into Pisces for just a little bit, but now Jupiter is moving back in that retrograde path into the energy of Aquarius. And we will see this energy taking us back to what we have seen as Jupiter has traveled through Aquarian energy already. Now, one of the things I think is important to pay attention to in that particular movement is that, first of all, Jupiter, even in a retrograde capacity, is still very, very generous and still very, very giving. But he is here for the experience of wisdom, and we only get wisdom through the experience, right? He's really trying to teach us and take us to that next level, or help us expand out by having us question what's been going on here, having these experiences where we go, wait a minute, what did I learn here? What did I see here? What were my beliefs that were set up in this particular area? We question those things, but then we also take his re-entering into the Aquarian energy to remind ourselves that, yeah, I'm healing, I'm rethinking my things, I'm ready to expand out. But if I'm going to expand out, I really have to also step back into Aquarius. I have to remember that there is a whole world that I am also a part of. It's not just me. There is a whole world for me to consider and to speak to. I think that it's this idea very much so that it's like the grain of sand on the beach, right? You may be one person, but there's a whole bunch of sand out there. So I think it's just this idea for me this month with you, Aries energy, very, very much that you are being called into your own. I think you are being called into your leadership role, whatever that looks like for you in your life, but it definitely demands some agency and it demands some stepping up. And what you do seems like it will uplift others while also you're stepping up into your space, but then it also has this feeling of uplifting not just the world, but maybe the people in your space or the people in your community or your social media platforms. There's really an opportunity here for you to be able to do that this month. So I love the energies that are available this month. Please remember, we will still, especially at the beginning of the month, really contend with that Venus square Saturn, or Venus opposing Saturn, and then squaring that Uranian energy, which can create some destructive, unstable energy. So everything maybe doesn't feel so solid. But I do think as we travel and we get towards the rest of the month, things start to taper out a little bit and you feel a little bit more comfortable stepping into your own. All right, my beautiful Aries friends, I hope that this absolutely finds you well. I hope that you have an absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous month. Like this video, comment, share, subscribe. I love you a ton, and I look forward to seeing you next month. Bye, my friends.